Hello guys, DJParson and I'm back with the next game of the International Championship. And after the first two games, it's looking pretty good. As you can see, after these two games, I am on the first spot. To be fair, some of these only have one finished game, so it's really hard to say. But yeah, first and second game both together were pretty good. First place in the 4-player and second place in the 3-player, so that is a good start into the new season. Yeah, and the next game is coming up. It's going to be 4 players, so see you guys in the match. So in this match we are facing up versus Kishantri, Footloop and Machondo. So you saw Kishantri has the first turn, Footloop will take Hammurabi and Witchland. Then I take Sansu and Stockpile, and maybe we should take a quick look at the leaders and wonders. What do we see? We see Shakespeare, Bach, Gaudi, right off the bat, Marlene and Pierre and Mandela. A couple of military actions. Žižka is here, no Gutenberg. St. Pete's, Great Wall, Acropolis Library. Not the best wonders, Hanging Gardens, Colossus and Stonehenge. All kind of mediocre. And in 4 players I think Acropolis isn't as good as it is at the moment in 2 players. Maria, Suez Canal and Cook is also there, but no Red Cross. Okay, so let's continue here. Machondo will take Moses and the Urban Growth. So he doesn't have the best pick. Usually he would like a Wonder or something and not the Urban Growth for 3 civil actions. But he will manage. He still gets a leader and a pretty decent yellow card. So let's see what else will come out. Couple of wonders. Hanging Gardens, Colossus, Acropolis. Kishantri takes Hanging Gardens for 2. We'll build a mine. And that's about it for him. Then Hammurabi for Footloop. Increase Pop, build that mine. He will take the Colossus. There's also a super early Machu Picchu. One could just go for that. But it stays on 3 for me, so I don't really want to grab that here. I will build that mine and play that stockpile that I had. I mean, the rest of the cards here, I mean, I could take Urban Growth, but stockpile is hard to use. And right off the bat, we have a lot of tactics. There's also Žižka, so we have the potential for a very aggressive start. With these tactics rounds, sadly not a single event that we could play. As you see, Machondo going for that Acropolis instead of Machu Picchu. I mean, it's a tough one here. This early Machu Picchu could just concentrate on building that. Kishantri finally gets his leader, takes Homer, and start building on the Hanging Gardens as well as a lab. Footloop takes Printing Press for 2, Breakthrough, and starts building on that Colossus. 2 early irons coming out as well. So potentially I could just go for Machu Picchu. I still need a wonder. I don't have an HA1. And I do that. I grab that one and the iron, because of course you need iron with that. And then hopefully we get a development for 2 extra rocks. Then I could even finish the Machu Picchu next turn. And then I will have pretty good production. And then after that can upgrade to iron, and there's still both irrigations. So I think the Machu Picchu as first wonder here is perfectly fine. That's a pretty good start. Machondo offers me the trade routes, so we will be able to use rocks as food. He will build his extra mine and grab the iron. Can go for it next turn. Kishantri will open the development of crafts. That means we can finish the Machu Picchu next turn. He finishes Hanging Gardens and will pop twice, as well as build a warrior to use the extra rock from that Homer. Yeah, it's pretty, maybe a good combo, I'm not sure. I'm not the biggest fan of either Homer or Hanging Gardens, but here it's kind of working. Get a lot of extra pop from Hanging Gardens, a lot of extra pop that is free. So using the extra rocks to build these warriors for just 1 rock, maybe it's a good combo. Footloop will go for printing presses here and finish the Colossus, so he will be the strongest for now, as well as be able to grab that St. Pete's. So now I finally have some cards. I could just play Good Harvest here. Yeah, I will do that. We get the Machu Picchu after all. get that development of politics, so even more cards. There's Zizka as well, but yeah, I need to finish that Machu Picchu, can do that this turn. And then I will go up to 4 rock production and 3 food, thanks to that wonder. And then next thing I want to do is get the iron out as soon as possible. I'm pretty low on science right now, but I can still go for printing presses. I mean, I could even... alternatives, I guess, weren't that great. I needed to grab any card of the first here. Could go Bread and Circus, because we don't have a Happy Face solution. And there is Pierre. Yeah, that was the alternative, I think. Reality, not really. Bread and Circus for Happy Faces or printing press. I mean, there's also still Shakespeare, Gaudi, Fleming, so it has good uses. The question is if I can skip the iron next turn, or if I should and go for the printing press first. We will see though. Development of Civil Life from Mahondo. That means I can use that to develop the iron and then upgrade. I think I would like to do that, but we will see. Honda can go for 2 iron upgrades. Grab the Bread and Circus himself. Yeah, I think I like the Bread and Circus here. I would have liked to have that even, but I decided against it. Chandri will open the development of trade routes. Grab the Forbidden City, Swordsman, upgrade, or develop that one to upgrade for free. I mean, yeah, good use of that Homer rock. And then Footloop is maybe going to go for Zizka, we will see. Free war, development of warfare, so free warrior. Footloop doesn't have a free population. Chantry does, I do as well, and Mahondo also does. So Footloop is the only one who's not going to get that extra population. Or get that extra warrior. Oh no, he did use it. He still had that Civil Life, used that to increase pop for 1 food less, and then got that free warrior, so he does get that extra one. And now with Zizka, no tactic yet, but maybe later. So I decide to do exactly that, what I said before, use the Civil Life to develop iron for 1 science less, and then start upgrading the iron. As well as grab irrigation. I mean, if you have the Machu Picchu, you really want irrigation, and in 4 players there's only 2 of them, so paying 2 civil actions for the one seems okay. I really need more science, so I mean, there's still the chance that you get 1 extra science from this card, and then I could go for printing presses next turn. But I also need Happy Faces, so yeah. On the other hand, the age is still young, there's still 28 cards left, so Happy Faces maybe aren't the biggest priority here. Condor will go to full iron upgrades, probably going for that Acropolis next, and then he does reveal the Legion, something I'm not sure if I would do that, showing that to Zizka, but he decides to do it anyway. And then Kishandri will not play politics, can't quite finish the Forbidden City, 1 rock missing. He will also reveal a tactic, okay, so everybody reveals their tactics. And he can finish the Forbidden City next turn. Footloop will open, there it is, extra science that is really good for us. And Footloop can use that to grab, go for the Swordsman and Drama, and start building on that, on the St. Pete's. Then I will offer the Open Borders Agreement to Mahondo. Getting the extra military action is really great here. And then I can go for the printing press, build 1, increase pop, grab the Grand Circus, so we have our Happy Face solution. There's also synergy with Gaudi here, if we already have the printing press, and Pierre, of course. So I like the Grand Circus pickup here. Next turn could go for irrigation, get that going with the Machu Picchu, and after that, maybe the Bread and Circus. We are not the weakest. We are one of the 2 weakest at the moment. Honda will do something about that. He does build an extra warrior, so it's going up to 5 strength. We'll go for irrigation as well. So yeah, he has a pretty good production. A lot of iron. irrigation up as well. Not finished his wonder yet, and he needs civil actions. Something Kishantri will get with that Forbidden City. And the God of Law, so he all of a sudden has a lot of civil actions, and then Barbarossa. That's interesting. He already has 3 military units and no food production, or no upgraded food production, I should say. So it's really interesting that he thinks Barbarossa is the right thing here. Maybe he has some colonies in here. We can see that he has played 2 cards. If those were colonies, he plans to send away the units, rebuild with Barbarossa. That can still be very good, but we will see. Maybe he's also looking for the Great Wall. That could be a deadly combo. Footloop opens the knowledge of ancients. That is not good for us. I mean, we get the 1 science, but the others get a lot more from that. And then a Footloop will finish the St. Pete's, grab knights as well. Actually, that was really important for him. He got that 1 rock that he needed to finish the St. Pete's this turn. So that's really good for him. And then knights as well. A lot of science saved up already. 18. And then I could play politics, but I'm the weakest. I just play the tactic, go for Leonardo, so we get extra science and a lot of rocks. Might be overkill here, I'm not sure. We do get the extra science, which is really great. But he also gives more rocks. In retrospect, I maybe would have preferred Saladin here, just to get that extra civil action, be able to spend more of the rocks and food that we're gonna get soon. We also have the good harvest in the deck. So while the science is great from Leonardo, the extra rock doesn't really matter to us. And I really need civil action. So yeah, I think I would have preferred Saladin here instead. I do decide to grab that Great Wall, which is also really interesting. And I'm not sure if I agree with that. I mean, yeah, I can see the problem of being the weakest here by a little bit. But I have Grand Circus to get extra strength. I have a lot of rocks. There is still 2 copies of Knights, and I have Tactic. Of course, it is good. We have the upgraded Fighting Band now, and then together with Great Wall, that is pretty okay. But yeah, we will see the problem. Maybe go for the Great Wall, but grab Saladin was the better option. I will build 2 armies. Going up to 8 strength, so I will be the strongest and get out of corruption, so that's good at least. And next time I could just finish the Great Wall, get even more strength. Mahonda will cancel the pact with us. We lose our military action, that sucks a little bit, but nothing we can do about that. Honda will elect after upgrading population 2 times. Finish the Acropolis, build 1 more warrior. And the more I think about it, I like the position we're in here now. If we had Saladin and the extra civil action, that would have been great. Actually, did Mahonda cancel the wrong pact? He cancels the trade routes and not the open borders? Interesting. Maybe not. I thought he would have cancelled the open borders, but him getting strong also doesn't really make sense. So maybe, yeah, probably wasn't a mistake. But yeah, what I was about to say is I would have liked opposition here quite a lot if we had Saladin. Could just finish the Great Wall and still have 1 civil action left. We do get to become the strongest here, which I also like. We didn't play too many cards, we have no idea what's coming, so getting the strongest is good. Being able to finish Great Wall next turn gives 4 more strength. So we have good production, and the Great Wall and the warriors give us the strength as well. Only thing we need is civil actions and not the science and rocks from Leonardo. So yeah, coming back to that Saladin decision. Wealthy territory, Kishantri able to win that one for the swordsman. So that part of the plan might work for him. He does elect Barbarossa, Masonry, Alchemy, can build one of those swordsmen, and even another one. So he's going strong as well, can maybe copy the upgraded fighting band next turn, even though he really needs his military action, so maybe he will decide against that. Footloop. Oh, H2 starts first of all. And Footloop gets Code of Laws on 1, that's really great. He could even go for Monarchy as well. I wouldn't hate to see that, but he decides to go for Cartography instead. And the Swordsman, so he spends most of his science in 1 turn. And we'll upgrade both, so 10, 9, 8, 7 strength stacking up. But then I could play new deposits, I don't need to, we will see. No, I decide against it. I mean, there are risks. I have an unhappy worker. This just works quite nicely. Just finish the Great Wall, do nothing else. Get out of corruption, become the strongest, get the 1 happy face to get us out of the uprising. So this just works quite well. But if I had Saladin instead of Leonardo here, I could have also grabbed knights, increased pop. Maybe I wouldn't have done that, but yeah. I think I talked enough about how I would have preferred Saladin here. Honda really needs happy faces, but he has that bread and circus as well. So he goes for that and upgrades his food production. So his production is up to date, only needs more science. And then he did copy our tactic, going up to 10 strength. Chantry grabs coal, just like that, for 3 selections. Yeah, this is great for him. He could have still gone for iron, but he decides he can get the coal here, can upgrade once. And once again with the Rich Land, that is a super strong turn. Going up to 7 rock production this early is really, really good. And then he also will copy our tactic, going up to 12 strength as well. Footloop will push and get the good harvest. So we get 3 extra food. And he can rebuild, or he can build a swordsman. Breakthrough and iron, so you can still go for iron pretty late. Yes, a lot of culture production, not that many rocks or food or really that much science. So his production, his economy is a little bit behind. But he's the strongest now with copying our tactic. I can increase pop. There's a Conmon. Yeah, again with Saladin, maybe I could have grabbed the Conmon for 3 here. I think I just have to wait for it. I mean, if I grab that and increase pop, that could have been an option. And then not develop the Brand Circus, because then I could go for Conmon next turn. But I decide I want the Epiphases, go for that Brand Circus and 1 more printing press. So at least I have 11 signs, not enough for the Conmon. But theoretically I could even go for Republic. So yeah, this turn just fixing happy faces, going for the printing press. I just don't seem to have the time to also go for irrigation and the upgrades and everything. So everything is a little bit delayed. And that is because of civil actions. Not having any extras, having to finish that Great Wall as well. That cost 4 civil actions, grabbing it cost a lot. So it did help us quite a lot, the Great Wall. But also cost us 6 civil actions. So yeah, we will see if this turns out to be good. I mean, I still have 2 printing presses, so that part is good. I just need to find the time to upgrade my irrigation and the rest of the iron, perhaps. Keep the autonomous territory. There is the Suez Canal, so I could just go for that with the autonomous territory. And international trade agreement is also a great pact. And Honda will just grab the Conmon, go for it immediately. Yeah, he has the Acropolis to make that cheaper. And then he can grab the Cavalryman. We'll have corruption, but a great turn for him getting that Conmon out. Good. Chantry will build another swordsman. Upgrade his last coal. Grab engineering genius. Next turn maybe can go for alchemy if he still plans to do that. And then 1 breakthrough. As well as getting even stronger. 17 strength here. Footloop goes for iron. Upgrade. So yeah, rather late but still early, I would say. So later than us, but still early in this game. Beginning of H2 is not too late to upgrade iron. So I like that. Now I can finally go for the food upgrades. Yeah, getting a reasonable amount of production here. Food, rocks, science, everything is looking okay. Besides government form, civil actions, and so on. So that would have been great. So Mahondo will grab the Rifleman for 3 civil actions. I mean, those are great upgrades. Scientific method. Builds a lab, so next turn he can upgrade those scientific methods with his 15 rocks. Even more after this turn, 19 rocks. So yeah, that is really good for him, being able to go for the scientific method next turn. Chantry will go for an aggression, so stealing some of those 19 rocks for himself. Even though he maybe would have preferred some food, but Honda doesn't have those. He can build another swordsman with the reserves. Journalism, urban growth. So next turn he has enough science for journalism, but he needs food as well. So I guess he would prefer selective breeding next turn. Pestilence comes out during Footloop's turn. Has to destroy a mine and a lab. Will go for a tactic and a cannon, so he's going up to 21 rocks and grab efficient upgrades. So yeah, quite early to be destroying philosophies, but he does get a lot of strength. Maybe next turn he can play a war or something. I don't know if that is his plan. We shall see. I go for the Rifleman and Maria. Maria's great here. I have food upgrade, so I have quite a lot of food. Don't really know why I'm not playing the international trade agreement. Should have offered that to someone, but I think that is yeah, my fault. Sometimes when playing async games, I skip the politics phase just like that instead of looking at my hand, because I think I don't want to push, and then I forget their pacts because I usually don't play 3 and 4 players, so that is definitely a mistake, not offering that international trade agreement to someone. Can upgrade here 1 and 2 riflemen, going up to 17, 19 strength. I could have just played Maria Theresa this turn. I guess I get 1 extra science from Leonardo here, producing it, and next turn I elect Maria and can pop then to get the extra science from her. Hondo will open the vast territory, and Kishandu is able to win it. Probably send an army. Yeah, send an army with 2 swordsmen. Well, that is a great colony for him, and he has so many swordsmen anyway. Hondo also goes for the rifleman upgrade. Interesting that he doesn't go for the scientific the scientific method, but everybody's going for a lot of strength, so he feels threatened. That will delay his scientific method by at least 2 turns, and that really, really hurts him. But he can go up to 16 strength, grab the journalism and reserves, as well as the strategy. Yeah. A lot of technologies where he doesn't really have the science for those, but we will see. Chantry, now the weakest, will not push. Goes for journalism, can build 1. Rich land, and then selective breeding. Yeah, so that works out quite alright. Going for the journalism this turn, and next turn being able to go for selective breeding. I think I like that. The alternative would have been selective breeding this turn, but that would have delayed the journalism quite a bit. So Footloop will push, will open Reign of Terror. Mahondo loses a population. And then selective breeding for Footloop as well. Can develop that, upgrade, upgrade. He's just on 4 rock production. That is his biggest problem here. And see, finally, I think about that international trade agreement of that Footloop. I will be producing extra food, which is really great. But if I had done that last turn, I would have 8 food now and could pop with Maria. Like this, I can pop once and go for Republic. I mean, I would have really liked to still get the Cornmon. But getting the Republic this turn, I guess that will have to do it. It always sucks a little bit to be down on 2 military actions going into H3. I guess I could still go for Suez Canal. Maybe that's the plan. Yeah, go for the Suez Canal and get that military action from the autonomous territory that I have in hand. And with my last civil action, build 1 or upgrade 1 food and upgrade 1 of those riflemen. Go to 21 strength. Mahonda goes for Gaudi. And Gaudi allows him to go for the scientific method this turn, which is great. He can still spend some of those rocks, upgrade. And upgrade the Rifleman as well. And grab a Frugality. I mean, yeah, here. He needs more pop. So Frugality better than Patriotism and Engineering Genius, perhaps. Chantry can also get his production up. He's not looking bad either. He has, of course, the 9 rock production from the coal and now also the selective breeding, as well as that journalism. Doesn't have a new leader yet. And there's Bach and Shakespeare. I mean, Bach and Shakespeare, can't really complain about those two. If there's no more operas left, so he would have to hope to get movies with one of those leaders. And he really doesn't have the best military setup, but there is hope for him. There is the defensive army that he can copy at some point and then go for those cannons. What he's missing for that, of course, is some military actions. He's also missing those quite badly. And not the big science production. Next turn he can get a journalism, at this turn not so much. Footloop will open Inhabited. I was able to bid quite high for this, but not high enough. Footloop will get it for a cannon and the card. You would have really liked to get that for just a swordsman, but this also works for him. He has to rebuild, so that is actually really expensive for him. The Inhabited Territory is 1 full production for him, so it's not cheap. And he can, I guess he's also really setting up for Shakespeare. That is his plan. Get Shakespeare, build some dramas quite cheaply. You don't need a lot of rocks for those, you need population, and he just got that with the Inhabited and with his food production. So that is his plan, definitely. Go for Shakespeare. And he becomes the strongest even thanks to Zizka, making it so that the selective breeding is 1 cannon or 1 outdated cannon, so he has the tactic once normally and once outdated. I can finish that Suez Canal, go for the autonomous territory. And what will I take from that? I decide to take the 4 science. Yeah, science is what I have the least of, so going for that. And grabbing a cannon so that I can also try and go for the defensive army at some point. Could even copy it this turn. I mean, I could also hope to draw a tactic from H2 still. I guess both is debatable. But if I copy the defensive army now, I will lose 4 strength, so I become the weakest, so probably not. Can increase pop with 1 warrior because he's almost free. Can maybe send him away for colony if there's still one. Just using the extra rock here. To become strongest team. Okay, that's a good reason to be the strongest here. Mahonda grabs architecture for 3, interesting. Upgrades 1 more scientific method. I mean, he's definitely looking good as well. He has the big science production. Food is fine, rocks are fine, not the highest, and he has a happy face solution. What he doesn't have is cannons, so that is one problem for him. He's stuck with his current tactic, unless he has another one in his hand. But he does not have those cannons. So H3 will start here. And it will start with border conflict. I'm the strongest, so yeah, that warrior was worth it, even though yeah, Footloop got weaker because he lost Zizka. But yeah, getting those extra rocks is really nice. And Chantry will grab and finish that Kremlin immediately. Great use of his rocks. And then he can build even 1 more journalism. So yeah, he's doing some big moves. Now I wouldn't be surprised to see Footloop go for Shakespeare, but he stays on 3. First of all, he will offer me the international tourism. This early is really good. So we get 2 extra culture production, he gets 3 extra culture production. This is such a strong one, such a strong pact this early on. Shakespeare is indeed elected, and then no cannon, no drama build a cannon instead. But next turn I am definitely expecting him to go for 1 or 2 dramas, get the culture production flowing with Shakespeare. And he's even the strongest, so yeah, he's definitely not looking bad. The biggest problem is he's on 5 rock production. I guess even that is fine. Honda's only on 6. But also the science, right? He has 2 science, 5 rocks, that's not that much. We have 8 rocks, 3 science. Chantry has 9 rocks and 4 science, and also food. Honda also has a lot of science. So Footloop definitely has the worst production, but he has quite a lot of culture. Has a culture lead, has Shakespeare. So we shall see. I can't really play the national pride here. I am far from being the one with the most culture. Can go for one more of those brilliant circuses. So I'm really hoping for an early Pierre to get my culture production up by quite a bit. Meanwhile, Maria can still give extra rocks. The only problem is every time I use a military action, I draw one less card. So that is still a problem. But I can prepare for computers. Could go for those next turn. I mean, yeah, obviously the problem is we only have one lab. It's quite late. I would have preferred to get an early multimedia instead of the computers here. But there's Sid Meier. There is Steve Jobs. That's about it for computer leaders. But keeping the option. Urban growth can also be great if we get multimedia, or if we go for pro sports or something, or even just for third burn circus if we get Pierre. And then computers, it's a good H3 card in general, especially this early on. Not the best card for me here. Honda goes for journalism as well. And another brand circus. McAgg can go for that next turn. Yeah, he needs more food. McAgg and vision upgrade for next turn, I would guess. Kashantri will grab another wonder and finish that one immediately as well. Getting a lot of these H2 wonders quite late, but getting him in the same turn as he grabs them is not bad. And he's keeping up in strength as well. He's also, as we said, still on very low military actions, so there's potentially from someone from either Footloop or me. I have the problem, no military actions, Footloop the same, so the only one who can really go for military is Mahonda with his strategy and the Conmon. But he doesn't have cannons, so his strength is kind of a wild card. So we'll see if this will end in a war or not. So Footloop increases pop twice and builds 1 and 2 dramas, yeah, getting up to 15 culture production, building that swordsman, so 29 strength from him. He's the strongest. And then as I said, not the best card draw here, loss of serenity and a bad tactic. I will go for computers, will upgrade 1, grab air forces, they are always really useful. Go for 1 more rifleman, increase pop, and go for 1 more brilliant circus. Yeah, I'm really hoping for Pierre here at some point. I also have other options for leaders. Sid Meier here isn't the greatest, I think. I shouldn't go for him because we only have that 1 computer. This would be quite a good setup for Steve Jobs though. So we have Steve Jobs or Pierre as good options. Fleming, not so much, but I can grab the movies. Sadly, can't go for next turn. And we still have strength potential if we get extra military actions. Honda opens the fray. That is actually really good for us, because that means I can take the food, increase pop, have 10 signs, then could go for movies. And with movies, Marlene and Fleming also become an option. Honda will upgrade his food, not the biggest food upgrades, or not the biggest food production, but he at least gets out of his starvation problems. And then 1 more journalism, as well as going for democracy. They only cost 10 science, that is a great deal to get the extra 3 culture production. And Kashantri opens the power of science, that is good. We have 7, Ahon has 13, that's really high, so he probably played that, but us still getting 7, that is not bad at all. And then democracy for him, military build-up and reserved, so just loading up on some of these precious yellow cards, and the democracy as well, can go for the next turn. And then going from despotism to democracy is really good, as well as just setting up a little bit of defense with the military build-up. Still needs science for cannons, and democracy doesn't give the most military actions, but at least he would have 4 then. So pretty interesting. He did grab that reserves. Oh no, the reserves were for 2. Was for 2. I thought he skipped the patriotism for reserves, but probably not. Footloop will open the independence declaration, and Honda loses his developed territory. That hurts him, yeah, quite a bit. He doesn't have the most happy faces. He will lose the developed territory. and then Footloop gets the military theory here, can go for it immediately, increase pop, and go for another cannon. So yeah, I don't know if he's trying to threaten someone with the military, because he doesn't have that many rocks. But he's definitely protecting his culture production that he has, his culture lead. His problem might be that he can't go for an H3 wonder, and that, yeah, soon, or he can't have more than these two pairs because he's still on despotism. So yeah, I think I agree with his decision here. Go for the military theory, set it up so he could go for war and build 2 more swordsmen. So if someone is not careful, like Mahonda or Kashantri, he could use that to his advantage. I could play the Input of Wonders here. That looks like an okay impact for me, definitely, yeah. Ravages of Time. Oh, that is not good for Mahonda. He will lose his Acropolis, and that means he can't go for Democracy next turn. Ooh. And I have also a tough decision. I can get rid of the Machu Picchu or the Great Wall. Great Wall gives 6 strength at the moment, so I think I have to decide to go for that Machu Picchu. And then I can go for Steve Jobs. Sadly, Pierre was not early. Maria is not really doing that much. I mean, 1 science, but after we increase pop once here, the next population is going to be quite a while. And 1 extra rock for the military units, because these 2 guys are just weaker than us. So I need a new leader, and Steve Jobs is here, and he has potential, so I can go for him. Give him extra happy faces as well, so that works out. I mean, then I maybe didn't need the extra bread and circus, but I can always delete that. They're not that expensive. And I can also go for multimedias then, so I can upgrade the first of those. And maybe grab the efficient upgrade for the next upgrade. And copy the tactic finally, so I go up to 33 strength. Just so that I can use that, or that I don't have to spend those military actions if someone goes for war. Imagine if someone goes for war against me and I don't have the new tactic, and then I have to spend 2 military actions. Now I have that tactic. If I need to defend, I can just build a cannon and have that immediately. Sadly, I didn't get the patriotisms here. Those would have been really great. So, I mean, I guess this turn is debatable. I could have just skipped going for Steve Jobs this turn, just wait 1 more turn. I don't know. I don't think the others are really too keen on Jobs. Maybe Mahonda would have gone for him, maybe not. Could have just waited, grab the Engineering Genius, Patriotisms, still do the upgrade for Multimedia. I guess if I want to develop Multimedia anyway, my reason was to go for Steve Jobs, then I get the extra 4 culture from that, which is also great. Just it sucks a little bit to miss out on the Patriotisms and the Engineering Genius here. International negotiations, sadly we are not the strongest. And Mahonda will give science to Footloop because he can't go for the democracy anyway here. What he can go for is the pro sports. Interestingly, he does decide to not go for Mandela. He was enabled, he was cheap to grab, but he decides no, he wants to keep Gaudi. And then he will get a patriotism and an engineering genius. Those are good cards for him. So we are kind of in the middle of H3. How is it looking? We have 52 culture, 99, 58 and 56. So really close as far as culture goes. And still a very open game, I would say. Footloop has the culture lead, but he's behind in production. In everything besides culture, that is. And the rest, we are all really close in rocks, in food, in culture production as well. So this will be quite the interesting end game. Chantry will open emigration, but nobody has any unhappy workers, and he can finally get a new government form with the democracy. Get pro sports as well. Yeah, he really needs happy faces, and that helps with strength as well. Modern infantry could even be enough. Don't need a new tactic at all. If you just go modern infantry, might be enough. He is pretty weak, so Footloop could go for an aggression here, even though nope, he goes for an impact instead. Input of government, 24, so Shandu just got that democracy, so he now has a pretty good one. 15, 19, 18, pretty close, but not so good for Footloop. He is still on that despotism. And yeah, I think I really agree with what he's doing here. Just grab the fundamentalism. So next turn could do the revolution. Pop twice, I would say, yeah. And then next turn he could even go for war, go for fundamentalism, build 2 warriors or 2 swordsmen, and then get quite the boost of strength. Limit of progress, 10, 10, 4 for me only, and then 12. That is not the good one for me. And of course, now Pierre shows up, a little bit late for my taste, but that's Pierre for you. So maybe, yeah, maybe last turn I should have just waited a little bit more. But then there's also the problem. Mahonda probably wants Pierre. Chantry could go for Pierre. So even if I wait for Pierre, it's not guaranteed that I would get him. So I still don't hate the going for Steve Jobs last turn. Can upgrade the multimedia, the second one, build 1 cannon, going up to 43 strength. Revolutionary idea. Reserves and endowment. So this turn I do get a couple of yellow cards. Spend 1 military action. I still haven't had the biggest or the most draws in H3 here. That is a really big problem. That's the biggest problem of the Republic that we have here. At least I was able to play 2 impacts, but no wars drawn. Yeah, some aggressions here, also not the best card draw from the ones that we do have. Wonders is 15, 9, 11, and 5 for Mahonda only. So still here, really close besides Footloop, but I think we're gaining on him. So yeah, Mahonda does go for Pierre, go for Democracy this turn as well. Can go for 1 more. No, decides against it, doesn't want 1 more, just upgrades. I think I would have just like built 1 more Brand Circus. I think he would have had enough for that. They only cost 2. He has that free population, would have been 2 more culture production. But this is also fine. He's pretty weak. I wouldn't be surprised if someone can go for war. Like Footloop versus Mahondo here. He's only 12 rocks. He does have enough for tanks. Like 2 tanks, reveal the classic army or something like that. Could happen. I would like to go for a war against him, but I don't have the war. That's the problem. Soon it's over. Next turn is probably the last possibility. So I think we missed our chance to draw the war on time. Chantry will go for Fleming and movies. And he has 28 rocks. Yeah. And so many civil actions. Chantry is up for a great endgame here. Can also grab a wonder or no wonder for him. That's interesting that he doesn't go for Hollywood, United Nations or Spaceflight. Those are the last ones besides Manhattan Project. So the only ones that give a lot of culture are these here. And he has so many rocks. I would have not hated him to go for one of these wonders, but he also has a lot of wonders, so it's quite expensive to grab these. Footloop does go for war against Chantry, the hybrid war. And then he can go for... Oh, he doesn't do the revolution. Can go for 2 air forces though. That's 57 strength, so that must be more than just doing the fundamentalism revolution and building 2 swordsmen. So yeah, 57 strength from him. Not bad, not bad. All the while he still has the culture lead, so he's not looking bad here. Yeah, as I said, I like the setup. He doesn't need a lot of rocks for these dramas and still produces a lot of culture. Like Chantry has to invest 10 rocks in these movies and 7 in the journalisms. Footloop only had to build 2 extra dramas. That's 4 rocks. And for that he got culture production of 17 here. So he spent all of his rocks into military and is at 57 now. I decided to go for aggression against Chantry as well, the plunder, but sadly he has enough defense cards. He has 6 defense cards, so he will be able to defend against me. Yeah, I could have, maybe this is just preparation, maybe I can go for the armed intervention next turn, but I really would have hoped to get the rocks. I can go for civil service here, can also go for military theory, and then I get the extra culture from Steve Jobs here, getting 8 culture for both of these. And then I can grab the space flight. I have enough to finish that next turn with the reserves and a lot of civil actions and military actions now. Sadly, the input of government was a little bit too early for me, or that would have been a pretty big one as well. And then I can research movies next turn. And there's the war, a little bit too late. Hondo will end the age here. First, he will reveal the input of harmony. 16, 16, 20 for me, and then 16 for Mahondo. And he also grabs a wonder. He will grab that Manhattan Project. Yeah, for him the Hollywood is not that good, so he just plans to finish that one next turn, or this turn even, get the strength up so he can defend against aggressions. And gets 13 culture for it. Not the greatest wonder, but it's okay. It's more than Kishantri will have. So last turn is upon us, and it is still really close, everything. What will be really deciding is how big is going to be the war from Footloop versus Kishantri. That could put Kishantri out of the race altogether. But we will see here. He actually has quite the big problem with heavy faces, but he has Pro Sports as an easy solution to that. And he has also that Harvard College to get more yellow cards for this turn. So let's see what he can do. He can go for Air Forces. Build one. Has a lot of rocks for building things. Will start destroying his other stuff. 45, 42, 52, 54, 54, but he skips his production. Yeah, this hurts. I don't know if maybe, yeah, I guess he calculated it. He could not go for Pro Sports and Modern Infantry. That is his problem here. And obviously also not Air Forces and Pro Sports. But yeah, this is not the most efficient army. That's a lot of rocks in the army, but Air Force with even the upgraded fighting band isn't that big. He never went for his... he never found the time to go for defensive army. Never went for his cannons. So he can go up to 54, but he skips his production and has to hope that he can catch, or that he can keep enough of his culture. I don't know if that was the right move. I guess he did some calculations, but going for Pro Sports would have also been really good. Would have been way better for a lot of impacts. And then he would have had 23 production. So for him, actually, he has no chance of beating Footloop. I think it might have been better for him to just give up more culture, but for that not have the uprising, because he would produce 23, and a lot of his impacts would have been a lot better than right now. Footloop will open economic progress, and then he can go for Marlene. Increase pop, build, no, can't build more, can build one of these for variety. He's setting up variety and 52 strength. So my last turn, so how is it looking? Kishantri at 154, I'm at 149 and 161 for Mahondo. Really close, but I still have my production. I also have an input of competition, but that is probably no good versus Kishantri anymore. And I do have a wonder here. We get the input of culture, that is 15 for Kishantri still. That is really good for him. It's really hard to say who am I playing against the most. I think Footloop will win this. We will see, we will see. So I get rockets and oil, then I even get 2 technologies with Steve Jobs. And I can finish the space level for 28, so I'm at 188. And that gets really high. Can upgrade if there's strength. Can get stronger than Mahondo. So 199 for the finish. Maybe I even have a chance against Footloop. I don't know what impacts could be there for Kishantri to win here. Against me, that is. And Mahondo doesn't get a wonder anymore. A bit of science is a good start for... I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, Mahondo is really close here as well. He is pretty close here as well. Rockets. Yeah, I guess he's the biggest danger. He will get stronger than me, right? Yes, he has a tactic. So even when it comes to the strongest, he could have played input of strength here. And 70 culture production. This will be close between me and Mahondo, I think. I think Footloop has this, even though that is also really close. We will see. Exciting, exciting. Input of strength was in there, so Mahondo will overtake me immediately with going up to 15. I mean, I was missing so little strength. 52 to 54 to 55. If I got a little bit more strength. But no easy way to do that, really. Yeah, I needed all my rocks to finish the space flight. And even 2 rocks were not enough if I saved the 2 rocks on the Steve Jobs developments, but they also were 8 culture, so I couldn't do anything about this. Just really unfortunate that it got this close here. Then population 16, 14, 16. This is close. 230. All of this is close. Depending on the impacts, I still think Footloop has this because he should have good impacts. Even though architecture is not good for Footloop. No. 4, 16, 12, and 8. Yeah, Kashantri is out. Competition 15, 22, and 19. So Machondo's on top all of a sudden. Footloop might be out, and it's actually getting close between me and Footloop now. Happiness 16, 16, 16, 0, not 16, 0. So everybody's happy besides Kashantri, and with that he's definitely out. And then Industry 4, 4, 6, and 3. So super close. 288, 283, and 278. So all of us 5 culture in between. That is really close. Yeah, a little bit more strength than I would have been coming in 2nd place. So very exciting endgame here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I definitely did, watching it a 2nd time. And playing it also was a lot of fun. Congrats to Machondo coming here from the last position. Yeah, great job by him. Pierre winning is always nice. And in this game he was really good. If I had gotten him instead of Steve Jobs, if he came out instead of Steve Jobs on that same turn, I would have maybe been able to win. But Steve Jobs was still really good for me. Getting the, I think, 4 or 5 technologies researched for quite a lot of culture. So that was nice. And then, yeah, Footloop going for Warger versus Kashantri saved him. Or gave enough culture together with the Shakespeare pairs to come in there in 2nd place. And then, yeah, Kashantri not being able to produce in his last turn and losing the war means that he's the last. So yeah, that was game number 3. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun playing and watching it here once again. And yeah, see you guys for the next game.